Hello, my name is Alice Rose Betony, and I'm going to be bringing you a selection of short foraging and wild medicine videos on behalf of a Circle of Life Rediscovery. And it's important for me to start off with a little introductory foraging safety video. So first of all, you need to be very aware that where you're foraging is from a clean source. So if you're picking along a footpath, for instance, then always picking a little bit behind the path so you're avoiding any potential dog spray. You need to obviously make sure there is an absolute abundance of supply before you harvest anything. Sort of ask yourself this question: is there enough for me to take a small amount in this moment to leave enough for 7 generations behind me? And with that, when I'm always looking at the plants, I'll always be looking for the healthiest, largest plant amongst that stand of plants as well. And I'll often leave those ones. That's what I would refer to as the grandmother plant. And those plants are going to go on to produce the healthiest of seeds to keep that patch of plants nice and healthy moving forward as well. So all the videos I'm going to share with you are all from wild weeds that are very abundant in the southeast of England, where I live. The other thing is you need to make sure you're foraging from organic land, so you know that it hasn't been sprayed with pesticides or any chemicals. So either get to know your local farmers or your local area and be sure that there isn't any spraying going on. If you're walking on footpaths, for instance, around the edges of fields, if there's an abundance of weeds, it's most likely it's organic land. If it's a monocrop and there are hardly any weeds on the edges, then most likely they have been spraying that field. So in that field, I wouldn't even harvest from the hedgerows or anything that's further up, because the spray would have gone off all around that area. And obviously you have to make sure that you have 100% correct ID. So it's really good to get yourself a couple of different plant guide books. I like to cross-reference all the time. So if you get some that maybe have illustrations, some that have photographs, some that, if you're getting a book that is just telling you what is available to eat and forage, they don't always go into such in-depth botanical knowledge. So you need to get the dedicated wildflower guides, and you need to cross-reference with any look-alike plants that you could get to know as well. So you make sure you're foraging the right plant, and yeah, that's important. And the other thing is, I guess there's a few sort of laws around. There's a few plants that are illegal to forage, like cowslips, for instance. We're in a big decline, so you're not allowed to forage for them anymore, but you can harvest cowslips from your garden if you've grown them yourself. Whereas primroses often grow in more of an abundance around here. So I would forage for a few primrose flowers as an example, and an alternative to cowslips in that instant. And a few other laws: it's actually illegal to dig up roots unless you have the landowner's permission. So let's say you wanted to make yourself some dandelion root medicine or dandelion root coffee or something like that, then if you've got your own garden and you're weeding out your veggie patch, that's obviously absolutely fine. But if you're going to go for a walk and take a trowel and hope to dig up some roots, you're going to need the landowner's permission. Essentially, by digging up the root, you're essentially taking the whole plant's life cycle. Sometimes if you don't dig up the whole root and you leave a little bit of root in, that plant will still grow again over time. So sometimes if I'm harvesting from my own garden, for instance, I might always leave a little bit of root in, or I might take a root cutting and plant it back in again myself to continue supply. What else is there?